He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where I talk about life, I talk about liberty, I talk about the pursuit of happiness, and I show the world that us Cajuns do have intelligence. Before we move on, want to apologize for my voice. I think I got a cold coming on, ladies and gentlemen. No, not C19. Nope, not that. No, just have a little crackling in my voice. A little sore this morning. Well, at the time of this episode we'll be recording, I did something I hadn't done in a while. I went play slow pitch softball Friday night, and of course, excuse me, the game I come back to, we went into extra innings. But the second game, we played two games, and the game that I came back to, I pitched Friday night on the second game. And I don't know if people that listen know me personally. You know, I love playing slow pitch softball, and I was a pitcher for 5 years. So they asked me to pitch the second game, and I'm like, okay. And I easily threw almost 100 pitches. We went into extra. We played a whole extra hour in that game because nobody wanted to give up, and we did win the game. So that's good. But man, I'm sore. I'm sore, and I don't do this no more, ladies and gentlemen. I don't play softball as much as I used to. So to get back into the swing of things, before the Cajun Conservative and before Brothers Just Searching, I used to do this almost every weekend. I was in shape for it. Now I see what a professional athlete on a small scale goes through when they come out of retirement, except if you're Tom Brady, where you stayed fit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but still with all that, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm excited. We have a jam-packed show, ladies and gentlemen. Things happen in the latter part of the week from the last episode. And we jump from a school shooting, which was devastating, and we're still finding out information about that. We have people trying to make the shooter the victim now. We're going to get into that probably in the second segment. But ladies and gentlemen, just things have blown up, and we're going to jump right into it. This is big-time stories. So what my process is, if you watch the TikTok side, I usually record the show. The show's an hour long or so, and I bring out a lot of good points. But normally on Thursday, I find the point that really hit home. We go ahead and we put that on TikTok, and it's a conversation starter. And there's a lot of times certain comments come up. If I see them, I try to read a lot of the comments, but sometimes I just can't make it. And a lot of these comments come up, and they're starters. Well, I explain to people, look, I explain a lot more in the hour show. Go check out the hour show. And about to get ready to start doing the process for TikTok, finding the clip, trying to find the information that I need to put it on TikTok. We have breaking news story. And this comes on the heel of the grand jury for Donald Trump. Excuse me. Alarm went off. You know we do this in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so we go ahead and I start looking, and we have notification. Now, prior to the day, which was Thursday, we went ahead and we heard that the grand jury in the Manhattan case against Donald Trump, where he paid an adult film star money to hide an alleged sexual encounter with this adult entertainer, and that it was hush money, and this went through Michael Cohen. Now, when Trump went ahead and said, look, they're expected to arrest me on Tuesday, all of a sudden the grand jury had to wait a couple of days. They announced they were going on this month-long break, and me personally, I'm thinking, Trump probably beat them. 9 out of 10, they were thinking about this case. This case kept under wraps for a little bit. Now that you have where they were going to indict a sitting president, a former president, this made national stories, made people in the headlines. I thought maybe Andy Briggs came to his senses and said, look, we just need to leave this alone. Again, excuse me for the cough. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night, all of a sudden this grand jury met and they went ahead and they voted to indict Donald Trump on possibly 30 counts of charges. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is supposed to be, and this is from CNN Politics, Donald Trump faces more than 30 counts related to business fraud in an indictment from Manhattan grand jury, according to two sources familiar with the case. The first time an American president this is the first time in American history that a current or former president faces criminal charges. Now, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. This goes to a whole nother question, too. If this is about hush money, why is there 30 other additional charges against President Trump? And it goes back to they're trying to find anything. Ladies and gentlemen, now we don't know the count of the votes where we really didn't see the formal charges to Donald Trump yet. But ladies and gentlemen, I thought this was about hush money. I thought this was about, him having sexual relationships with an adult entertainer. But now we go to the fact that, oh wait, there's possibly 30 charges we're going to charge President Trump with. And it's, according to CNN, it is because of business dealings. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what was Alvin Briggs? What was he looking up? Was he looking up hush money payments, or was he looking up his business associates? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we know that this district attorney in Manhattan went on a rampage. He went ahead and he made a campaign promise to go ahead and attack Donald Trump or find dirt on Donald Trump. Now, mind you, this district attorney has put down number of cases, brought him from felonies to misdemeanors. New York's Manhattan district is going to hell because there's high crime, and this district attorney has refused to go ahead and charge people. Why? Because his main goal of getting in office was to stop Donald Trump. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. His actions are speaking louder than his words. He's not fighting for justice. He is fighting to put Donald Trump in jail. Now, since this has happened, they have made arrangements where Donald Trump will go ahead and be indicted, will be formally charged, and he'll be fingerprinted. He'll go in front of the judge on Tuesday. So he's gonna go ahead and he's 9 out of 10. He's gonna go to Manhattan and do all this. This is according to the Daily Wire. That Trump, as the article loads up. So former President Donald Trump will be arraigned in Manhattan courthouse on Tuesday afternoon after being indicted this week, court officials said on Friday. Trump attorney Joe Tacopina said he does not expect his client to be placed in handcuffs when he turns himself in, and that Trump will not take a plea deal on this case is not going to happen. He made these remarks. There is no crime, he said. I don't know if it's going to make it to trial because we have substantial legal challenges. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trump is going to fight this. And look, if you watch Trump over the course of history, he's a fighter. He says he didn't have no sexual relationships with Miss Stormy Daniels. So we're going to have to see how this play out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why is this significant? Because, as we said, this is the first time in American history that a former president has been indicted on criminal charges. And look, we had a lot of presidents do a lot of shady things. Nixon, shady stuff. We had Bill Clinton, shady stuff with Monica Lewinsky and other female accountants interactions that he had with female employees or female people that he knew. So this is a really big bombshell. But ladies and gentlemen, it's funny how Trump is getting the first of everything. Trump has been the first president to be impeached twice. He's the first president to be charged with a criminal charge. He's been indicted. All this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, for the last 8 years, Donald Trump has been on the heels of the Democrat Party, and they don't like it. Since he has come down that escalator in 2016 and announced that he's going to run for president, they have been blindsiding him. First of all, they took him as a long shot. Oh, there's no way Donald Trump's going to win the presidency. There's no way that Donald Trump is going to have any influence on the nation. And guess what? Donald Trump beat them. He exposed the left for what they were, liars and cheat. Now, look, before you go on, I know we got some people on the left that probably listen, would say the same thing. Well, Isaac, don't the Democrats lie? Don't the Republicans lie? Absolutely, they do. I'm not going to deny that. And look, I say the same thing about Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump a 100% honest man? No. But there's something about Donald Trump that these Democrats don't like. The Democrats just cannot stand Donald Trump because I believe he's not part of the establishment, and they go against. Do I agree everything with Donald Trump? No. Am I for him running for president this time? No. But I'm going to go ahead and defend this man because they are fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all a political charge. It's kind of funny they're going after Trump and look, they've done it since he's been out of office because they know he was going to run in 2024. They're trying to stop him from getting back to the presidency. And this is all politically motivated. When you have a DA that ran and said, I'm going to go after him when I get into office. Now, this is the whole thing about this case as well. His predecessor said, we don't want to touch it. The federal prosecutor said, we don't want to touch it. Andy Briggs himself said, I'm not going to touch it until his staff members, 2 of them quit and more were threatened to quit. So then he decided to go after Donald Trump. This case is weak. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason I think Andy Briggs is doing this, and he is pushing this because somebody's telling him to do it. If that's Soros has even said, well, I never met this DA, but he backed him up and he gave him all kind of money. But it's either Soros or it's somebody on the left, because, ladies and gentlemen, you know what this benefits the Democrat Party? Their campaign slogans. Do you want to vote for a president that's been indicted? Look, he's in handcuffs. Now, we just got from the Daily Wire that Trump lawyer said, look, we're not going to try to get him in handcuffs. But ladies and gentlemen, his mugshot alone is going to be a political ad. Look at the politicians that run for political office now. If they have one blemish on their record, they blast it all over the nation or all over the district. Ladies and gentlemen, this is to get photos of Donald Trump in jail or Donald Trump's mugshot or Donald Trump getting fingerprinted, and they're trying to say, look, this is justice because we're trying to serve the American people, but in reality, they're trying to get Donald Trump out and they're trying to use it for campaign funds. That's this whole process is. It's not about justice. I said when the rumors first came out that Donald Trump was going to be indicted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not about justice. This is about advancing their political agenda. They want to stay in power. The Democrat Party will do anything to stay in power. We've seen that in the past. But ladies and gentlemen, yes, Donald Trump has been indicted. Now, we've had some remarks from prominent Democrats and Republicans. And we're going to start off with the Democrat side when this came out. Like Nancy Pelosi, let's start with Nancy Pelosi. Because Nancy Pelosi made some comments and it got a lot of heat. So Nancy Pelosi, and this is from Fox News. Nancy Pelosi roasted over Trump indictment. Tweet says he has a right to prove his innocence at trial. Representative Nancy Pelosi released a statement Thursday night commenting on the indictment of former President Trump, a statement that has raised eyebrows to his blatant inaccuracy on the rule of law in the United States. The grand jury has acted upon the facts and the law, Pelosi wrote. No one is above the law, and everyone has the right to trial. Has a right to a trial to prove innocence. Hopefully, the former president will peacefully respect the system which grants him that right. Many have been quick to zero in on Pelosi's claim that Trump has the right to a trial to prove innocent. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that people are blasting Nancy Pelosi is because you don't go to trial to prove your innocence. It is the prosecutor's job and to go in front of your peers and prove you guilty. Because our system of rule of law is that you're innocent until proven guilty. You know what this sounds like, ladies and gentlemen? A third world nation. Now, this whole incident, we might touch a little bit more on into the second segment, but Nancy Pelosi, they do this in third world countries where you go to trial not to prove that you're guilty. You go there to try to prove you're innocent to the judge because the judge already thinks, hey, he's guilty. He got to prove he's innocent. We're totally opposite. And that's what makes our country great. Our country says you are innocent until proven guilty. It is the job of the prosecutor to convince the jury that you're innocent. That you're guilty. That is our whole line of this is built. But ladies and gentlemen, the rule of law does not apply to the Democrat Party. I've already said this. This is a lawless party. Now, I want to get some reactions. Ben Shapiro, when I said it's innocent until proven guilty, not opportunity to prove innocence. Rudy Giuliani, wrong, so obviously wrong. Most middle schoolers know this. At least they used to when civics and the Constitution was respected in school. You're innocent until proven guilty. That was just a few comments from a few prominent conservatives. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't go ahead and prove your innocence. The prosecutor's job is to prove you guilty. But according to Nancy Pelosi, they don't even need a trial. Nancy Pelosi believes, hey, we should just go ahead and put him in jail. Let's just go put him in jail. That's it. That's all we have to do is go put him in jail, and nothing. We don't have to worry about nothing. He did not prove he was innocent. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not right. Now there's other quotes from other Democrats. Let's go run through them, and then when we come back on this next segment, I'm going to go ahead and look at the Republicans' view and Ron DeSantis' comments, and I want to address that a little bit. But so other Democrats went ahead and talked about this. Let's go ahead and pull up the tweets. Let's go ahead, because this is from Fox News as well. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to find some. Let's find. Yeah, Maxine Waters, a top Democrat on the House Finance Services Committee and a vocal opponent on Twitter when he was in office, reacted with glee on Twitter. So Trump finally got indicted. I predicted he would, and predicted that Stormy Daniels would get him sometime just as work. Waters wrote. She's very happy Donald Trump is indicted. Now, he's already guilty. He hasn't went to trial yet. But remember, the Democrat Party, like Nancy Pelosi, they believe he's guilty. Adam Schiff, the former head of the House Intelligence Committee and the lead Democrat in Trump's first impeachment trial, called the movement sobering, but indictment he believed justice was served. The indictment of former President Donald Trump by Manhattan District Attorney Office over his alleged participation in the campaign fraud and hush money scheme that already set his former attorney Michael Cohen, who is the lead witness, by the way, of this case, to jail as a sobering and unpredictable development, Schiff said in a statement to Fox News Digital. But if justice demands that Michael Cohen go to jail, which he went to jail for other things, just not financial fraud, for schemes directed by someone else, justice also requires that the person responsible for directing the scheme must answer for that offense against the law as well. And that person is Donald Trump. See, innocent? He's not innocent. He's guilty. See, he's already guilty. We don't even have to go through a trial. Let me go ahead and Schumer wrote. Let's go talk about Chuck Schumer. Mr. Trump is subject to the same laws as every American. Well, let's stop there for a second. If Trump is abiding by every law, well, isn't Biden is as well? Is Hunter Biden is he subject unto that law? See, ladies and gentlemen, we have a two-tiered system, and see, they want to put all that on Donald Trump, but Chuck Schumer got things in his closet, Nancy Pelosi got things in her closet, President Biden, Vice President Vice President Kamala Harris. If the law applies, let's apply it to everybody. That's why Lady Justice is blind. Remember that. But he will be able to avoid himself of the legal system and a jury, no politics to determine his fate according to the facts and law. There shouldn't be no outside political influence. Well, then shut up. You think about it. There should be no political influence of it. Well, yeah, dude. Don't go ahead and don't go into the microphone and talk your opinion about this trial. Funny how they don't everything they say is not applied to them. You do what I say and not as I do. How they say that? I encourage both Mr. Trump's critics and supporters to let the process proceed peacefully and according to the law. Well, basically saying, hey, don't start a riot. And I agree with that point. Look, if you're a Trump supporter, don't go out there and start hell. Let it play out. Let Donald Trump's lawyers do what they need to do, because they're looking for something like another January 6th. That's what the Democrat Party is looking to. If there's another January 6th, they can pin the blame on Donald Trump. So that is a couple of Democrats' response. And after the break, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the Republicans' response and also Ron DeSantis' response, because and look, this takes more than one segment, because this is a big story. This story is big. Like, this is history making, that a president has been indicted. And you already saw the Democrats. The Democrats said, hey, he's guilty. Throw him in a cell and lock the key. As Nancy Pelosi says, hey, he can prove his innocence in court. And this just shows that the Democrat Party is a lawless party, and they're going to do whatever they can do to stay in power. So with that being said, we'll be right back after this short break. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. So let's go ahead and start talking about the top House, Senate Republicans' outrage about Trump's indictment. Fox News has a quote say, "A dark day in American history." Top Republican lawmakers reacted with outrage to the unprecedented indictment of former President Donald Trump on Thursday as part of the Manhattan District's Attorney's Office year-long investigation. So let's go ahead and talk. Kevin McCarthy went ahead and reacted on Twitter, said Alvin Briggs has improbably damaged our country and has attempted to interfere in our presidential election as he routinely frees violent criminals to terrorize the public. He weaponized our sacred system of justice against President Donald Trump. The American people will not. Jim Jordan, outrageous. Brian Daniels, who is a Republican in the Representatives, keep an eye out on him. He was a candidate for the House Speaker against Kevin McCarthy a couple of times in those long votes. Today's political indictment of former President Trump is a dark day in America history and a threat to our republic by Alvin Briggs and the Democrat Party machine. I called him Andy Briggs earlier. I don't know why I did that. It's unfathomable to me that this could happen in America. This is a political persecution that must not stand. Senator Ted Cruz tweeted, "The Democrat Party's hatred for Donald Trump has no bounds." Josh Hawley tonight's indictment of Donald Trump isn't about the law. It's about power, raw power. It's the Democrat Party telling our nation that will stop at nothing to control the outcome of the next presidential election. Is an assault on our democracy, pure and simple. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit before we get to Ron DeSantis's quote. And what does this mean for Ron DeSantis? And Ron DeSantis is playing this cool, and he is right. And Donald Trump should be ashamed of himself for attacking Ron DeSantis, because this man is standing up, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, first off, we live in a tutorial justice system. We talked about this in the last segment. I think it was Chuck Schumer that said, hey, politics shouldn't be involved, but Donald Trump should face the full extent of the law, because no one's above the law. That's some of the Democrats' famous quotes right now, saying, well, Donald Trump isn't above the law. If that's the case, President Biden ain't above the law. Hunter Biden isn't above the law. Hillary Clinton isn't above the law. All these people are not above the law. So should they go ahead and face criminal justice? Well, if they've done something wrong. Remember, the full extent of the law, ladies and gentlemen, they're supposed to go ahead and be prosecuted for possible crimes they committed. So let's have a grand jury on that. Now, a grand jury, there's a saying that said a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich because all you need is a majority of a 23-person or 24-person majority. It just needs a simple majority to indict somebody. And this is from this grand jury is from New York. So, but ladies and gentlemen, we live in a tutorial justice system. We also live in a system where the Democrat Party want to make Donald Trump look bad because we see it already. They're just not attacking Donald Trump. They're attacking Ron DeSantis on this Disney stuff. And we haven't really dove into that. There's just a lot of big major news stories have happened. But ladies and gentlemen, they're attacking these two people. Why? Because this is their threat. Ron DeSantis can easily beat Joe Biden. I believe that with all my heart. Donald Trump, there are some people that said they don't think Donald Trump could beat Joe Biden. I think he can. We'll just have to wait and see. Biden's numbers are bad right now. But ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to this to where they do this in third world nations. As I said earlier with Nancy Pelosi's tweet where she says he can prove his innocence in court. Only a third world country does this. People, like Russia and communistic countries, this is how they do this. They charge people and they say you have to prove your innocence in court. Also with this, third world nations do this. They take out the last president or their political rivals. Now you can have the argument that people say, well, hold on, the president doesn't have his hands in this. Okay, but if the Justice Department is funding Alvin Briggs' office, or if there's any federal money that went to that, and we don't know that, there's no news articles, there's no proven fact yet, but if the Justice Department had anything to do with that case, ladies and gentlemen, that throws a big problem. That means because Biden's Justice Department was involved with that. And this is why the Republican Party is saying this is a political charge. This is a bias indictment, and I agree with that. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I said in the first time, all they want is a picture of Donald Trump in handcuffs. If they ever get that, that is their golden goose. They can stop all the other grand juries. Because, yes, Donald Trump has 4 other grand juries that is looking into him right now. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's their goal. That's what they want. They want Donald Trump in handcuffs and his mugshot for political purposes. Will you vote for a man that has been indicted? And ladies and gentlemen, that is the whole thing. This is for them to stay in power because they know Donald Trump messed them up the 4 years he was there. And look, he was limited because he did have a House and a Senate that was Republican, but you had Senator Mitch McConnell and you had not Rand Paul, Paul Ryan as the Speaker of the House, stopping everything Donald Trump wanted to do because of Russia collusion, which has been proven to be false. And then you had Donald Trump with the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, come in, and the Democrat Party shot everything Donald Trump wanted. But he still got things done under the executive branch. But ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat Party does not like Donald Trump. The Democrat Party does not want him near the White House again. So they're bringing up these charges to make him look bad, and they're going after him. I don't care what you say. They are going after Donald Trump, and they want to take him out politically. They don't want him to have any influence on politics whatsoever. And ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat Party is using the justice system to benefit them, not to benefit the American people. So as we go on with these top Republican comments, let's go to Ron DeSantis. Now, Ron DeSantis fired back at the Manhattan DA because this is a state case. This isn't a federal case. Going back to everything that has happened, the federal prosecutor said it's too weak here. We're not going to advance this. You had Briggs' predecessor say, you know what, we're not going to go ahead and look at it either this week. And when Briggs came in, he even said, you know what, I'm not going to look at this. And guess what? People started hounding him. People started threatening to quit. And that's why all of a sudden he took it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a state case. This isn't a federal case. And because it's a state case, extradition is in play here. Now, the states are supposed to work together. If there's a violent criminal or there was a crime but committed by somebody in one state, the governor if he goes to another state, that governor is supposed to help that other state out and send back that criminal. And look, prime example: if we had a criminal from Louisiana flee to Florida, the police department would put in extradition papers. It would get sent to the governor or whoever else is in charge, and they would sign off, and they would send that prisoner back to Louisiana. And that is raising question. Well, Ron DeSantis said on Thursday that that former President Biden Trump has been indicted by the he responded to the news on Thursday that former President Donald Trump has been indicted by a Manhattan grand jury by calling into question the legitimacy of the case and saying that the state will not assist in extraditional requests. New York Times reported that the felony indictment over Trump's alleged $130,000 hush money payment to adult actress Stormy Daniels was filed under seal by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. This is Ron DeSantis' tweet. The weaponization of the legal system to advance a political agenda turns the rule of law on its head. It is un-American. The Sorrowback Manhattan District Attorney has considerably bent the law to downgrade felonies and to excuse criminal misconduct. Yet now he is, now he is stretching the law to target a political opponent. This is Ron DeSantis' quote, and this is what makes this a big deal. Because everybody else just said it's outrageous. This is a political attack and all that. Ron DeSantis says Florida will not assist in extraditing requests given to a questionable circumstances at issue with that Sorrowback's Manhattan prosecutor and his political agenda, DeSantis added. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ron DeSantis said this. Look, I don't believe this right. I believe it's wrong. And if Donald Trump wants to stay in Florida, I'm not going to give him to New York. Now, Ron DeSantis has taken heat on this because people are saying that, well, he's breaking the law just like Donald Trump. No, a governor has the right to do that. If a governor says, "Hey, I don't think it's a crime," he can go ahead and protect him. Now, this goes to another where people like, you remember the safe cities for illegal immigrants, sanctuary cities for illegal immigrants. Remember? The DAs and mayors said, "Oh, you can try to come get them, but we won't tell you where they're at. We're going to protect them. We're going to give them resources so they stay away from ICE." What's the difference with here? Oh, one's Trump and one wasn't. That's the difference. But Ron DeSantis, this is a great political move, by the way, from Ron DeSantis, because Ron DeSantis ain't letting his feud with Donald Trump, because remember, he didn't announce he's running for president, but if he's running for president, Ron DeSantis could have said, "Hey, take him," and he could have fell into the trap. But guess what? He said, "No, I'm going to do what's right for the American people and our sovereignty. I'm not going to go ahead and give them Donald Trump." This is a great move by Ron DeSantis. But ladies and gentlemen, now, like I said, Donald Trump, I don't think Donald Trump should attack Ron DeSantis, and he does. But Donald Trump should call Ron DeSantis and say, "Look, thank you, man. Thank you that you're standing up to my back. And look, he wanted loyalty. Yeah, they might be running against each other, but how much loyal can you get to that? Hey, he lives in Florida. I'm not going to send him back to Manhattan." As we said, the Daily Wire already reported that next Tuesday, and we're going to get the photo ops. We're going to probably talk about this on the midweek episode. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron DeSantis did right here. He is not helping the left push their agenda. He is fighting back. And this is what makes Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis so dangerous to the Democrat Party. They fight back. Normally, Republicans would just curl up in a ball and say, "Don't do it, please don't do it, please don't do it," as the Democrat Party does whatever they want. But Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump said, "You know what? We're gonna stand up for ourselves. We're gonna do like the Republicans of old, fight back. We're not gonna let y'all pass your political agendas. We're going to stand up to you guys." And that's what the Democrats are really fighting about. They want Donald Trump gone from the political scene because he fights back. He exposes them for who they are. And it's the same thing with Ron DeSantis. They don't like Ron DeSantis going after Disney. They don't like Ron DeSantis telling Disney, "Hey, you want to promote a political agenda? That's fine. You're not going to get tax money no more. Or you're not going to get a tax break no more." And ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's about. They want to hold power, and they don't like how Republicans or certain Republicans ain't buckling to their will. The Democrat Party was always that older sibling that wanted the last banana for his bowl of cereal and forcefully took it away from you or lied to get it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what this is about right here. Donald, this whole thing, and I brought up reactions. I brought out this whole Ron DeSantis thing. Donald Trump. I'm gonna go ahead and read his. Let me go ahead and find his. So I want to talk about, like I said, I want to talk about two more people because I want to talk about Trump and I want to talk about Biden's reaction. Let's go see. Excuse me. I thought I got Trump's. Yeah, Trump reaction to Daily Wire. Okay, so we're gonna read his quote from. Man, you gotta love ads on news sites. All right, so this is from the Daily Caller. Former President Donald Trump reacted to the indictment Thursday on alleged relations to paying hush money to Stormy Daniels, calling it political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history. And this is Donald Trump's quote. This was from Truth Social. From the time I came down the golden escalator at Trump Towers, and even before I was sworn in as your president of the United States, the radical left Democrats, the enemy of the hardworking men and women of this country, have been engaged in a witch hunt to destroy the Make America Great Again movement. You remember, just like I do, Russia, 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 the Mueller hoax, Ukraine impeachment hoax number 2, the illegal and unconstitutional Mar-a-Lago raid, and now Trump began in his statement. Democrats have lied, cheated, and stolen in their obsession with trying to get Trump, but now we have done the unthinkable, indicting a completely innocent person in the act of the brutal election interference. He continued. Never before in our nation's history has this been done. The Democrats have cheated countless times over the decades, including spying on my campaign, but weaponizing our justice system to punish a political opponent who just so happened to be the president of the United States and by far the leading Republican candidate for president. It never happened before, ever, he said. Manhattan DA Alvin Briggs, who was handpicked and funded by George Soros, is a disgrace. Rather than stopping the unprecedented crime wave taking over New York City, he's doing Joe Biden's dirty work, ignoring the murders and burglaries and the assaults he should be focusing on. This is how Briggs spends his time. I believe this witch hunt will backfire massively on Joe Biden. The American people realize exactly what the radical left Democrats are doing here. Everyone can see it. So our movement and our party, united and strong, will first defeat Alvin Briggs, and then we will defeat Joe Biden. And we're going to throw every last one of these crooked Democrats out of office so we can make America great again. And that's where Trump ended his Truth Social statement. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trump is ready to fight. So that was Trump's reaction to him being indicted. And also, you might ask, well, what was the president's reaction? President Joe Biden, no comment. Ladies and gentlemen, he's like, because it was Peter Dorsey from Fox News said, hey, what do you think about Trump being indicted? And all you heard was the president say no comment. Now, we're not hearing nothing of the White House. I haven't seen anything from the White House yet talking about Trump's indictment. But ladies and gentlemen, to be politically, that is probably the best move that Joe Biden could do. Don't say nothing. Keep your mouth shut, because if he does something, this could help Donald Trump. Also, in my personal opinion, the reason that he is not making a comment on this ongoing case is because people already think he's behind it. And him saying no comment is kind of like trying to cover him, but they're like, of course he's not going to do it. He's in favor of this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, like we said, and look, I've heard from other Republican candidates for president. I saw them on Fox News. They all say the same thing. This is not right. We want to win the presidency, but we will not do anything like this. It is disgraceful. And every Republican candidate has said this. Biden should say the same thing. Look, I'm the president. I want to beat Donald Trump if I run, but I don't want it to be done like this. But he's saying no comment. Ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of putting like it's, hey, I'm not making a comment, but in secretly, I bet he's jumping for joy. He thinks this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And we're going to have to see how that goes. But the president so far has not said anything either. So to conclude these two segments, yes, Trump is indicted, but at the same time, will it stick? We don't know. All we know that this is backfiring so far, where you have polls showing that Donald Trump has the support of the American people. There is people on the left even saying this is unprecedented, this is wrong. They shouldn't be charging this former vice president, this president. Ladies and gentlemen, the nation needs to wake up. The Democrat Party is not the party that helps the American people. I'm going to quote Trump: the radical left Democrats. They are not there to help you. They are there to stop political opponents that they want to stay in power. And this is what this is about. It's not about justice. It's about stopping Donald Trump. And it's sad that the Democrat Party has gone this far. With that being said, we'll be right back after this short break in the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all one word. The Scott Ford Show, all one word, and it's on Rumble. I'd be very happy if you went ahead and subscribed. Like Isaac, I'm a true American-loving patriot. Thank you, Isaac. God bless. Enjoy your life.
You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Got some good news. And I disagree with this person politically, but I'm glad he's all right. Senator Josh Fetterman released from hospital. If you remember, Josh Fetterman went into Walter Reed's Medical Center, and he will return home to Pennsylvania to continue his recovery. Then will return to work on April 17th. The poor people of Pennsylvania have not had two senators in the Senate for a while. Fetterman did write, I'm so happy to be home. Fetterman wrote in a post in his Senate Twitter account, I'm excited to be the father and husband I want to be. The senator of Pennsylvania deserves. Pennsylvania, I've always had my Pennsylvanians always had my back, and I will always have theirs. So he went ahead and he got out the hospital, made a good statement. But ladies and gentlemen, he was depressed. He brought himself to Walter Reed Medical Center. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people, and look, I'm happy he's fine. Thank the Lord he's back home. He's with his family. But if you go politically on this is why people were kind of hesitant to vote for John Fetterman. Yeah, he did win, but they held a lot of his illness behind. But I think a lot of people are starting to see that now. John Fetterman is still there for 5.5 years. But look, I'm happy. I'm happy he's all right. It's just politically, the people of Pennsylvania don't have representation. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. You should have representation in the Senate. And we're going to continue looking into John Fetterman and hope he's all right. But ladies and gentlemen, this shows that the Democrats, it don't care about person's health either. Hey, as long as we can defeat the Republicans, and look, we don't know who's running his office. We don't know that. But on a good note, like I said, this started with good news. He is doing fine. He's out of the hospital, and I'm happy for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got two stories I want to cover. Let's see if we can cover them. So, since the shooting in Nashville, we've been having arguments for transgenderism. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I stand behind this microphone. I don't agree with the lifestyle. I told someone last night, I was talking to someone about the Lord, and we came up to this issue of truth. And it's like this in a lot of retail settings or a lot of jobs. They say, look, don't talk about religion or don't talk about politics, because it does start a conversation. And the bad thing about our nation right now is you can't start a conversation and civically disagree with one another. And look, I'm gonna give props to. I was on TikTok the other day, and they had a guy that came across called the liberal trucker. And I like listening to these people sometime. You know, hey, you got to listen to the other side. And he started talking and started saying a few things. And I'll congratulate him. His stepkid asked him if he could adopt him, and I congratulate him on it. And he's a trucker, and I drive trucks for a living. And we just started talking on the chat, and he would read some of the chats, and he made a comment about me in the chats. He said, listen, this guy, the Cajun Conservative, this shows that you can have civil talks while blowing things up and fighting with one another. And I've agreed. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I've invited liberals or people, you know, I've said if anyone liberal want to call me and want to come on, I'll gladly let them come on. I've went on liberal podcasts already. And I'm just saying, as long as you have a civil conversation, but if you walk on in, look, I disagree with him, he disagreed with me, but we made our voices heard and we let the listener decide. But we don't have to name smear each other. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going on in America today. This is why a lot of companies say, don't talk about religion and don't talk about politics, because if you do that, you can start a fight, because there's some people they have to be right, and they will fight you tooth and nail to be right, even if they're wrong, because truth is not present in America. You can make your own truths, and there's only one truth. And this is where this argument of transgender really is. You can't change yourself from one gender to the other gender. It's impossible. You can do it surgically, but biologically, you're a male. Or biologically, you're a female. There's no if, and, buts about it. There's two genders. Now, I know I'm going to get some flat back for saying that, but that's the truth. I'm not going to hide the truth. But ladies and gentlemen, this whole transgender movement has really stirred up a few things. One is that they had a transgender day of vengeance. They changed it to a day of how did President Biden said that let's go ahead and go to the news article. Biden on the 31st of May issued an official proclamation declaring that transgender Americans shaped the nation's souls, an established holiday related to the group. Biden issued the proclaim Thursday to mark March 31st, 2023 as Gender Day of Visibility, a day some gender activists have renamed the Day of Vengeance. This is why Michael Knowles and other prominent conservatives got banned on Twitter, because they made the people known about this event. But President Biden goes ahead and gives them a day of visibility. This comes on the heels of the latest school shooting that happened in Nashville, where the shooter was labeled transgender. She was a woman and she was transitioning to a man. She was taking pills and stuff to make herself into a guy, which she was a woman, but you get what I'm saying. But ladies and gentlemen, ever since that shooting has happened, and it's been said that, now look, we don't know what the manifesto says. I'm still waiting to see if I can get a copy of the manifesto whenever it comes out. But ladies and gentlemen, they're hinting that this manifesto says that she was attacking Christians. She wanted to attack Christianity. But that's not confirmed. We don't know what's in the manifesto. That's just people like Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham, unless I didn't watch their shows, but if they got exclusive stuff, I think it would have been all over the news. But ladies and gentlemen, ever since that shooting, people have been they haven't been worried about the people that she put into the ground or the impact it's making on the community and their hurting of the community. The media has totally flipped this thing around, how people are looking at transgenders wrong now because this person shot up a school. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember the Oklahoma City bombing, I was alive because it happened in 95. I did a lot of research on Waco with David Koresh. I think that happened in 93, and it was 2 years after. So either 94 or 95 when the Oklahoma City bombing came out. And if you study it, they blame Christians for that. And it made all Christianity look bad because of David Koresh and all this stuff, which David Koresh was not a Christian. Let's put that out there. But they were trying to accuse, and the media at the time was trying to say all Christians were like this. And that's not so. But now that it happened to a transgender, they want people to realize, hey, that was one person, not the whole community. And now, ever since the Nashville shooting, I've been seeing that there's a push for transgenderism. There's a push to try to make them look, oh, they're not all bad. They're all not like this person that went shoot up this school wall, and they're trying to affirm, even where Madonna is planning to go to Nashville and give a concert and give all the proceedings to transgender-funded projects or transgender 503Cs or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you see this? Look, and that's what I'm trying to say. To me, it's like they're trying to tell the world, hey, not all of us are like this. And look, I'm not saying they're all not like that. I have not put all the blame on transgenderism for the shooting in Nashville. Do I think this woman had some issues with her mentally? Absolutely. But not all these people are bad. I'm going to just, I disagree with their lifestyle. I don't think they should do it because truth says there's only one man and one woman. There's only man and women. There's no 50 genders. You can't identify as a man one day and a girl the next. I don't think that happens. But ladies and gentlemen, they're pushing this. Now, as Biden even comes out and says they shape our national soul. One's ripping it, the other one's shaping it. And he made this day of visibility for them. And they're pushing this. I'm seeing the media because, look, we even brought it out last show with Don Lemon. Remember, Don Lemon kind of said the cops were wrong because they identified her as a woman when she was supposed to be a man. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not worried about a gender. They did a crime. But ladies and gentlemen, this transgender movement, it's influenced. They're trying, and I said this was going to happen. They're going to try to wipe away the story, or they're going to try to justify. They also have this is from Breitbart. I just saw this. Media tests his narrative. Trans shooter was a victim rejected by Christian parents. Ladies and gentlemen, and look, this is why she went into it. Look, see how they're twisting everything? This person went to a crime, and the media is trying to say, well, the reason she did this was because of the Christians. The Christians told her they weren't accepting her, so it drove her crazy, and that's why she went to do this. So, heck on what she did, it was the Christians' fault. And that's how it's gone. While several, and this is from Breitbart, while several media outlets strategically omitted details of the shooters being transgender on social media, intentionally, a new narrative has appeared to emerge. A report from the Daily Mail now assessed that the 28-year-old suspect, Andre Hale, was rejected by her Christian parents as the reported refusal to allow Hale to use he or her pronouns or dress as a man under their roof. This is from the Daily Wire. I mean, not the Daily Wire, the Daily Mail. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Daily Mail is twisting it to say, hey, because she was not accepted. And see, that's the whole thing. You have to accept transgenderism. If you don't, you're mean, you're a bully, Ladies and gentlemen, it was not the Christian's fault that she decided to grab firearms and go into a school, an elementary school of all places, and put 6 people in the ground. 3 being 9-year-olds. But you see how the narrative is turning? It's the Christian's fault. Because they were mean. Her parents were mean. They didn't accept her. And look, ladies, I think you should accept people. I have family members that are part of the LGBTQ community. I don't endorse what they do, but if I see them on the street, I will shake their hand and say, hey, how you doing? I have friends that are part of the LGBTQ community. I will go ahead and I'll talk to them whenever I get a chance. But ladies and gentlemen, not a lot of them know where my stance is, but I'm not going to be a two-face to them either. But it's, the Christians did this. The Christians did this. Also, there's another narrative going around that it was because of Tennessee's law. Tennessee went ahead and, let me go ahead and see. Okay, well, let me go one more thing. MSNBC and this is another person I say, how the hell did she get on TV? MSNBC reads, the rights crusade against transgender people dangerous and evil. This is from Breitbart. Joy Reid said Wednesday on her show, The Ride Out, that the right has a raging nationwide crusade against transgender people. This is dangerous and evil. Reid said there is still a lot we don't know about Monday's deadly and horrifying shooting at the Nashville Christian School, but after the poll said that the suspect was transgender, one thing is clear. Tennessee already under siege. Transgender community is terrified. One activist told NBC, we are already fearing for our lives. Now it is even worse. The right-wing moral panic over transgender people living their lives or seeking medical care or simply exiting obvious products, the Nashville massacre, but some on the right are linking their outrageous nationwide crusade against transgender people in ways that are just dangerous and evil. See, ladies and gentlemen, oh man, okay. Because we disagree with it does not mean we're trying to hunt down transgender people. This isn't The Hunt, the movie. But ladies and gentlemen, see how the left's doing this? See, y'all disagree with them. Y'all don't think it's right. So it's evil and it's dangerous. Who's the victim in this shooting for Nashville? Because, see, she even said, we don't know everything about Monday yet. But the Republicans are using this to spread their lies, and it's evil and it's dangerous. She also said that Tucker Carlson, the trans movement, is targeting Christians, including with violence. Most Christians in our country don't want to admit to that, but admitting it might be forced them to take deeply unfashionable positions. There are statistics that show violence against transgender people was already high, 2.5 more likely than the victim of violence than cisgender people. From 2017 to 2021, the number of transgender murders more than double. 73% have been killed with a gun, and yet we are now seeing the moral panic over trans people shift to this Nashville massacre. That was Reed's quote. Ladies and gentlemen, she could be right. I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers. But ladies and gentlemen, this is see how they're trying to shift the victimhood to transgenders with this. And this is what I'm seeing right here. And like I said, it has bothered me. Like I said, I don't care if this person was a transgender. They did wrong. They went into school and they hurt people. That was wrong. But the focus isn't on why she did the crime. We should know why she did the crime. If she did it because of hate, that was wrong too. And we're going to call it out on this show, and every other show should call it out. But ladies and gentlemen, this person did wrong. This person committed a crime. Don't matter what her gender is. But because she was a transgender, the media has to defend that narrative, because that's the narrative they're pushing now. And they're trying to blame everybody else except that person that brought them firearms in that school and killed 6 people. But the left's narrative is trying to turn and they're trying to protect their belief. With that being said, chaos unravels at the anti-gun activist swarm inside the Capitol. Protesters stormed Tennessee's Capitol demanding gun control. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So after, I believe this was Wednesday, March 30th. Let's see. I'm going to go to my calendar. My handy-dandy calendar, as they would say on Blue's Clues. The 30th was on Thursday. So Tennessee's legislative session started like ours in Louisiana. I think it starts on the 10th. They're getting bills in there right now. But so a group of 400 people rushed into the Tennessee State Capitol building in Nashville on Thursday morning to protest for stricter gun laws following the mass shooting at the Covenant School earlier this week. Around 500 protesters gathered at 8 a.m. local time before a large group of them moved into the Capitol building, carrying signs and shouting, "No action, no peace." And what do we want? Gun control. When do we want it now? Their normal chants. Footage from inside the state capitol showed at least 6 Tennessee state troopers holding back a crowd of angry protesters. as they attempted to reach lawmakers. A Tennessee nonprofit called Awake planned the protest. The group seek to improve conditions for women and children, according to the New York Post. We have collaborated with community organizers and individual citizens to organize a rally at the state capitol Thursday morning. If you are looking for a way to channel your grief, anger, and confusion into action, please join us, Awakening wrote on a social media post earlier this week. Capitol Police escorted members of the legislation to restrooms as protesters crowded and shouted. Portions of the crowd, which was made up of mostly of high school and college-age protesters, dispersed around noon, and most had left the building by 1 o'clock. Lawmakers have since resumed their business. Ladies and gentlemen, now if you watch the video, you would see these people storm into the Tennessee State Capitol. You would go, and they're holding signs, and they're disrupting the lawmakers as they make laws in Tennessee. And this is the first thing I thought of when I saw this. Where's the left's outrage? Where's the left? And this is the second time. This also happened, I think, in Ohio, where leftist protesters stormed into the state capitol to go ahead and make their voices heard. And I asked the same thing then. Where's the calls for insurrection? Where's the calls for riot gear? Where is the committee hearings on these people rushing into a state capitol and trying to stop a legitimate session from happening? Oh, they have the right to protest. Yes, they have the right to protest, but they stormed into the capitol, where if you see the videos of state police holding together and trying to fight off the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, where's the call for insurrection? Where's the call for justice? Why ain't these people going to jail? Because it was a left-leaning motive, and also it wasn't the federal capital. It was the state capital of that state. But ladies and gentlemen, poor police officers. Remember January 6th? These poor police officers that had to fight and face turmoil. What about the state troopers in Tennessee? And now this was in the result of the Nashville shooting and all that. We understand all that. There's some people that get upset with that. They want gun control. They don't understand that the control part of it. They don't want people to have guns because the government wants to control you. That's what gun control is about. But these people ran into this capitol, and there's no calls for insurrection. There's no call for these people to go to jail. It's disrupted a duly ordered process of government. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you see the narrative? Remember, I said this in the first segment about Donald Trump. We live in a tutorial justice system. If you go ahead and raid a capitol and you're part of the right, you go to jail. You're persecuted. You're all that. But if you're on the left and you storm into a capitol, or you storm into you go into a federal building and do something, you're just exercising your right to protest. See, you have a First Amendment right to do that. But if you do that and you're on the right, well, you go to jail because you're disrupting government. And I'm seeing this as I move along. As I said, do what we say, not what we do. And that's the left mentality. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, look, if this was a Christian that would have done the Nashville shooting, the media would have been all over that. Oh, these Christians are hateful. These Christians are this. But because it's somebody that they endorse, or somebody that lived in a lifestyle they endorse, we got to change the victimhood. It wasn't the people that were shot or the school that's victims. The person was mistreated. Oh, they were just exercising their right to protest in the state capital of Tennessee. But when you had a president that said go peacefully and peacefully and make your voices heard, and there were some idiots that went into the Capitol, we have to go ahead and prosecute. Like one person that wrote a meme, I forgot his name, but wrote a meme, Tucker Carlson brought out, is going to jail when to say, look, hey, if you want to miss the lines, go ahead and text your vote in. And when a leftist did the same thing to make the same joke, that person gets off scot-free. Why? Because we live in a tutorial justice system. And if you're a conservative or if you're part of the Republican Party, you are not, your citizenship is a little lower than the Democrat Party. And it's sad. It's sad that we got this tutorial when we're supposed to have a justice system that is fair and balanced. I use the example of Lady Liberty. That's why Lady Liberty is blind, but she's peeking. She's putting up her blindfold to see who she can. Oh, you're part of the Democrat Party. You're good. You're part of the Republican Party. Out. We're gonna go after you. And that is what we're seeing right now. And it is scary, ladies and gentlemen. America was not supposed to be this way. I promise you, our founding fathers are turning over in their grave right now because this is not the America they dreamed about. With that being said, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, episode 170. 30 episodes away from 200. I think we're going to pass that mark this year, ladies and gentlemen. We still got a lot of weeks ahead of us. So we're going to pass that up. But again, thank you for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. Please remember, if you listen to this episode the whole way, if you can, hit the subscribe button or the follow button on the platform you're listening on. If you're on YouTube, hit the bell. If you're on Rumble, hit the follow button. Spotify, follow that podcast. You can also leave us a review. This helps out more than you know, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this podcast out and about. Let people. It's one of the fastest growing podcasts right now, in my opinion, that is going on. We are on polls right now showing us we're sitting about 22nd, the most conservative podcast you should listen to in 2023. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button on the platform you are listening on. Go check out the website, thecajunconservativeshow.wordpress.com. Check out the Facebook page, The Cajun Conservative Show, the Twitter page, The Cajun Conservative Show, and Truth Social at The Cajun Conservative Show, and TikTok, The Cajun Conservative Show. Go check us out, guys. That's all our taglines. Go check us out. We need to let's raise up Twitter. Let's raise up Facebook. Let's do this together. Let's make the voice of freedom reign in America again. And with that being said, as you know, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. If you are doubting your salvation, or if you have questions about salvation, please email me at thecajunconservative5@gmail.com. I will get in touch with you, and I'll make sure to tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. So until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good week ahead. I love y'all guys. See y'all later.
Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open